Ever since I was younger, I was into video games.
Somebody like the fuse so I can bring bad news to all these crews who can't NBA jam with the shoe.
Oh, Whiskey Wednesday. Whiskey Wednesday. Love Whiskey Wednesday. We're drinking Old Grandad. Whew. Doesn't that pop? 114 today. And why are we doing that? Well, because ever since I started to get into whiskey last year, my uncle, my great uncle, as a matter of fact, who's my grandfather's brother, makes him my great uncle, right? He'll tell you he's my greatest uncle, guaranteed, has told me to keep an eye out for this. And I have spent the last year searching for it, and I finally found it. And I figured it is a cold, rainy Whiskey Wednesday. So we are going to drink this. Old Grandad 114. I love this bottle. It's like this kind of stubby bottle. It's very, I don't know. It just seems very sturdy. Distilled and bottled by the Old Grandad Distillery, Frankfort, Kentucky. It says this is a Jim Beam product. The Old Grandad on the front of this label, I do believe, is Basil Hayden. Is it Basil or Basil? Basil Hayden? That's him, apparently, allegedly. I don't know. 57% alcohol, 114 stands for 114 proof. High rye mash bill on this one. I think I have read between 27 and 30% rye. Full disclosure, I'm not a rye guy. I have been trying to get into ryes as of late. It's funny because a lot of people who I talk to, they're like, oh, early on you drink regular, you like fruity bourbon. People start out with wheated bourbon, but you'll go into this process where you start drinking rye. I have not hit that part of my whiskey journey yet. I don't know when that maturation happens, because I do prefer sweet, more fruity, kind of desserty whiskey. But I have been giving ryes a chance, and they are different to me, but enjoyable nonetheless. I had a pour of this last week when I first got this bottle. I'm gonna try and start, when we do these whiskey videos, to have a bottle already open, just because I've talked about neck pours and just being a believer in neck pours and not liking the very first pour that I have of a bottle. So there you go. No age statement on this one, but if you're considered, this says straight bourbon whiskey, right? I think, let's see if we can remember this correctly. Whiskey has to be aged at least 2 years, but wait, hold on. Shoot, I'm gonna say this wrong. Non-age stated whiskeys, if it's under 4 years, I think it has to be on the label, so I'm guessing this is at least 4 years old. That's my guess. I think if it's under 4 years, it has to be stated on a label. If not, just assume it's at least 4 years. Who knows? I don't know. Does it matter? Not really. Yeah, it took me a year to find this bottle. I don't know why these are so hard to find around here. Anyone outside of North County, San Diego, are you finding these easily? I paid $36 for this bottle. Most people have told me I should be paying around $28. Where I'm at is $36. So let's see what we think. So I thought I was crazy when I first opened this and smelled it, but this to me smells like there's a ton of cinnamon. It reminds me of holidays, first of all. It reminds me of like Thanksgiving or Christmas time. There's like some sort of like baking spice like nutmeg, but to me, this smells like an oatmeal raisin cookie with a ton of cinnamon. It's got this like dark fruity, I think it's raisin, kind of figgy raisin. I smell it in barrel-aged stouts a lot. But it's got a bunch of cinnamon, and like it smells like my wife is baking cookies at Christmas time. It definitely has heat to it. Like it smells, I mean, you're smelling every bit of the 114 proof. But it doesn't get like crazy ethanol, like singeing your nostrils. It smells awesome. I enjoy the way this smells. You can tell though it's going to be spicy. And as always, with the first sip of the day or night, that gets after it. That gets on your tongue. It hangs out. This whiskey is oily. It's viscous. It feels thick on your palate. And all of that spice and cinnamon that you're smelling, you taste in spades. It is massively spicy, massively cinnamon forward, tons and tons of baking spice. And it goes down into your chest and it hugs you and it does not let go. It is warm AF. It's perfect for a cold, rainy night. Yeah, that rye spice is definitely there. It tastes like, what's the best way to describe that? I don't want to say something like Fireball, like the cinnamon whiskey, because that tastes very artificial cinnamon to me. But if you've ever, chewed Big Red gum, it tastes like that. It is very dry, despite being chewy and oily. Like when it's first on your palate, when it's gone, it feels like, and I've mentioned this before, I think in beer videos, like when you put a toothpick in your mouth, when a toothpick is on your tongue, it kind of just like sucks up whatever saliva you have in your mouth. It's like that. Super dry, woody on the finish, but extremely spicy. I know I'm saying spicy, like rice spice, baking spice, cinnamon. But yeah, it's like an oatmeal raisin cookie with a bunch of cinnamon on it. It's the best way to describe it. And like I said, the entire time I've been talking, after sipping on this a couple times, my chest is warm. It stays, it hangs out. Like I said, you're getting every bit of the 114 proof. So my uncle is very into rye. Everything that we've talked about, he's, try this, try this, try this. It's always rye whiskey. So I want to make it a mission in life to really start getting into ryes and enjoy them. This is good. I mean, this is delicious. I will say that when I first started drinking whiskey, he had recommended this. I think a year ago, if I would have tried this, it would have been way too much for me. I don't think I would have been able to handle it. I probably would have hated it, just because it's so like next level compared to like the fruity kind of vanilla, desserty kind of candy bar-ish bourbons that I enjoy so much. But this is a fun whiskey. This is definitely one I think it's worth having in your collection, in your bar, if you have a bar, in your lineup, however you guys say it. I have a drawer that I have all my whiskey bottles in. It has a good place, it's a good spot in my whiskey drawer. This is very enjoyable, but you have to be prepared for that bite, that spice, that kind of intense heat that comes with it. So I think that's it. If you see this, I would recommend it. If you like that cinnamon kind of Big Red chewing gum, if you like oily, thick, viscous whiskey that's just gonna kind of hug you and not let go, stay warm in your chest on a cold, rainy day, this is for you. So good stuff. I really enjoy this. I will definitely, sip on this for however long it takes me to finish this bottle. And I think this is a bottle, now that I know where I can find it, I'll always have just on hand. Especially if my uncle ever comes down and hangs out and we get to drink some whiskey together. So hopefully that can happen sometime in the near future. But that is it. Another Whiskey Wednesday in the books. I appreciate you guys watching. And let's talk about this one. You guys fans? Do you have a hard time finding it? What are you guys paying for it? I kind of wonder. Like, California is weird when it comes to whiskey, allocated or otherwise. I mean, we always seem to pay a little bit more living out here. And it seems like things are harder to find than other places. So I'm out of here. See you guys next week. Cheers.
Thank you for coming behind the bar, in the arcade, all that shit.
Ever since I was younger, I was into video games.
Somebody like the Fuse so I can bring bad news to all these crews who can't NBA jam with the shoe.